important Microsoft Teams meeting at work. Your colleague has been talking nonstop for 15 straight minutes, and you have a critical, time-sensitive piece of information that could save the entire project. You open your mouth to speak, but your throat completely freezes up, your heart beats like a drum, and you think, oh my god, if I open my mouth right now, will I sound incredibly rude? Oh, the struggle is so real, Jake. You just sit there staring at your microphone icon, turning it on and off, sweating quietly until finally the meeting ends. You never say your point and the project fails anyway. It is the ultimate polite person's trap. It really is. You want to be polite, so you stay completely silent. But in the global corporate world, total silence is often mistaken for having zero ideas or zero confidence.
Exactly. Welcome back to another massive, incredibly practical episode of Learn Us English. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. Today, we are breaking down the golden rules of meeting etiquette, specifically teaching you the exact psychological strategies and smooth linguistic phrases to interrupt anyone politely, even your big boss, without sounding aggressive or disrespectful. This is a crucial skill for intermediate English learners. Many students tell us, Anna, I know the grammar, but I don't know the exact moment or the exact tone to slide into a fast conversation. It feels like trying to jump onto a moving carousel that is spinning at 100 miles per hour. Oh, that is a fantastic visual metaphor, Anna. A spinning carousel. If you jump too early, you crash. If you jump too late, you miss it entirely. You need the perfect entry timing. Yes! And today we are expanding deeply on 4 massive subtopics, including the magic of pre-interrupt chunks, the physical strategy of using the visual runway, and how to manage the balance of vocal volume. Plus, make sure you stay with us until the very end because we have our high retention word tour segment and an extensive Say It Better breakdown to instantly polish your everyday professional expressions. Let's jump straight into our first subtopic. All right, Jake, let's look at why interrupting someone in a second language feels so deeply terrifying. When we are children, our parents teach us a universal rule. Do not cut people off when they are speaking, right? It is embedded in our brains as bad behavior. Yes, it is treated like a social crime. But in English-speaking business cultures, especially in countries like the US, the UK, and Australia, meetings are highly dynamic. They are not like traditional lectures where one person speaks for an hour and everyone else takes notes in silence. No, they are collaborative brainstorming wars.
Ha! Brainstorming wars. I love that phrase.
It's true. If you wait for a perfect, silent 3-second gap to speak, guess what? That gap is never going to come. People will just keep sliding from one point to another, and your brilliant idea will remain trapped inside your head forever.
This causes what I call the permission trap. Intermediate learners are constantly waiting for the speaker to look at them and say, okay, now it is your turn to speak. But corporate speakers aren't mind readers. They assume that if you are silent, you completely agree with everything they are saying.
So how do we break this trap safely? That brings us to subtopic number 1, the pre-interrupt cushion.
Oh, tell us about the cushion, Anna. What does that mean?
Think of a cushion like a soft pillow. If you fall directly onto a hard wooden floor, it hurts, right? If you just shout, "Stop talking, I want to say something," that is a hard impact. It breaks the speaker's brain patterns and makes them feel attacked.
Haha, yes, that sounds like a verbal karate chop.
Exactly. But a pre-interrupt cushion is a tiny, soft phrase that validates the speaker before you change the direction of the conversation. It prepares their ears for your voice. For example, a classic cushion phrase is, "Sorry to cut in, but," or "If I could just add something quickly here."
Wow, those are beautiful. Let's look at the functional balance of this cushion strategy. What are the pros and cons?
Let's look at them closely. The pros: it softens the entry. It signals to everyone in the room that you are entering the conversation with respect, not aggression. It buys your brain exactly 2 seconds of time to organize your next English sentence while the speaker is naturally pausing their voice. The cons: the downside is that if your voice is too quiet or hesitant while saying the cushion, aggressive talkers will literally just drive right over you. They will hear your sorry, and they will just speak louder to shut you down.
Oh, I have seen that happen so many times. It's like a small bicycle trying to merge onto a massive highway with giant trucks. The trucks just don't care.
Yes! You have to couple the cushion phrase with a steady, confident vocal energy.
Now, let's talk about a major, incredibly embarrassing failure I had with this early in my career. I was working at my very first corporate office job, and we were in a high-pressure marketing meeting. My manager was explaining a new advertising budget layout, and I realized he was using the wrong spreadsheet from last year.
Oh, wow! Last year's spreadsheet? That is a huge error, Jake. Did you use a soft cushion phrase to stop him?
Well, Anna, My brain was undergoing a massive translation loop panic. I wanted to say, can I just chip in here? But because my throat locked up under pressure, what actually flew out of my mouth in a very loud, sudden voice was, "Stop! You are living in the past!"
Oh my goodness, Jake, you are living in the past? That doesn't sound like a business interruption. That sounds like a dramatic line from a romantic movie where someone is trying to break up with their boyfriend.
I know, the whole room went completely ice-cold silent. My manager stopped his presentation, stared at me with narrowed eyes, and said, "Excuse me, Jake? Are you criticizing my life choices?" I turned as red as a tomato. I wanted to dissolve into a puddle of water and slide under the door.
The time travel marketer disaster. But look at why that happened, Jake. Your intention was pure, but because you didn't have a pre-built, automated linguistic cushion ready on your tongue, your brain picked raw, emotional words that sounded way too aggressive.
Exactly. I didn't use the runway. And that brings us directly to our second subtopic, the visual runway technique.
Anna, the visual runway technique. This is such a brilliant strategy, Jake, especially in our modern world where so many business meetings happen over Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet. It really is. Let's explain the runway metaphor to our Learn Us English family. Think of an airplane. A giant plane cannot just suddenly pop up into the sky from a dead stop. No, it needs a long, clear runway to slowly build speed before it lifts off. Oh, I love that. So your body language is the runway before your voice lifts off. Exactly. Most intermediate learners keep their camera completely still, look totally blank, and then suddenly shout out a phrase. That shocks the speaker. Instead, you need to send visual signals 3 to 5 seconds before you open your mouth. Oh, leaning forward toward the camera, unmuting your microphone button explicitly, raising your physical hand slightly, or taking a deep, visible breath? Yes! When the current speaker sees those small visual movements in their video grid, their brain automatically prepares for an incoming voice. They will naturally start winding down their sentence to give you space. It is like turning on your car's turn signal before you change lanes. Let's analyze the operational balance of this visual runway strategy. The pros. It is incredibly polite and completely nonverbal. It creates a smooth psychological transition between the speaker and you. On digital platforms, using the physical raise hand icon feature gives you a legitimate ticket to speak next without creating chaotic audio overlap. The cons. The downside is that if your camera quality is very blurry, or if the speaker is looking directly at their physical paper notes instead of the screen, they will completely miss your visual runway. If you sit there leaning forward and gasping for air for 5 minutes like a fish, you will just look very strange and uncomfortable. Yes, you will look like you are having a medical emergency on camera. Exactly. You can't just rely on body language forever. Eventually, you have to launch the plane and use your vocal cords. Now, Anna, I know you had a pretty chaotic experience with digital meetings during the remote work boom a couple of years ago. Didn't you have a major runway disaster? Oh, don't remind me, Jake. It was during a massive international strategy call with a client from New York. There were about 30 people on the video call. The client was going on and on about a marketing timeline that was completely unrealistic for our design team.
Oh, a classic endless talker. Did you try to use the visual runway?
I did. I unmuted my microphone, I leaned forward, and I raised my hand in front of my face. But because my internet connection had a massive 3-second delay or lag, the client couldn't see my movements in real time. I got frustrated, so I decided to take a giant, dramatic breath to signal I wanted to speak.
A dramatic breath? How dramatic was it, Anna?
Well, right at that exact microsecond, my internet connection suddenly jumped back to full speed, and my high-quality microphone captured a massive, incredibly loud, aggressive sigh that sounded like, ugh! It sounded like I was completely disgusted and exhausted by the client's ideas.
Oh no, a giant sigh of despair right into the microphone?
Yes, the client stopped talking instantly. The whole virtual room froze. He looked at his screen and asked, "Is someone on the line finding this timeline painful?" My heart literally stopped. I had to quickly fake a massive coughing fit and type in the chat box, "So sorry, cough syrup went down the wrong pipe." It was a total nightmare.
The suffocation strategy. But look at the lesson there, Anna. Digital environments require clear, explicit, deliberate communication. You can't let accidental noises or lazy body language dictate your professional tone. Absolutely. You need crisp, automated phrasing. And that leads us directly to subtopic number 3, the pivot and pass technique. This is a master level communication tool. Once you have successfully interrupted using a cushion and your runway, you cannot just stand there with the conversational ball. You have to move the meeting forward using a pivot. Explain how the pivot works, Jake. A pivot means you quickly validate the point the speaker just made, connect it to your new data, and then pass the focus to a specific action item. For example, I completely agree with your point about the timeline, Mary, but that actually brings us to the budget constraint. Let's look at the third quarter numbers to see if we can adjust. Oh, that is incredibly smooth. You are not destroying Mary's topic, you are building a professional extension onto her house. Exactly. Let's look at the structural balance of the pivot and pass. The pros, it makes you look like an absolute corporate diplomat. It prevents the meeting from turning into a chaotic argument because you are logically tying your interruption to the previous speaker's thoughts. It keeps the entire team focused on solutions rather than egos. The cons, it requires a high level of active listening. If you use a pre-built pivot phrase, but your new point has absolutely nothing to do with what Mary was just saying, you will sound completely disconnected and disorganized. The team will think you weren't paying attention at all. Very true. You cannot pivot into empty space. You must listen to the conversation with full concentration before you attempt to steer the ship in a new direction.
Anna, managing your interruption volume is all about emotional intelligence, Jake. Many learners think that to interrupt someone, they need to shout over them. But shouting instantly triggers a defensive response in the other person's brain. Exactly, it turns a professional meeting into a street argument. The secret is to match their volume for the first 2 words, the cushion phrase, and then instantly drop your volume to a calm, measured, authoritative tone once you have the floor. It acts like a vocal brake pedal. Yes, it is incredibly powerful. Now, everyone, let's intentionally slow down our conversational speed and transition directly into our favorite segment of the show, the word tour. Let's explicitly review 7 fantastic keywords we used naturally today. These are practical, high-value words that you can drop into your daily business English to sound incredibly polished. Word number 1 is the idiom, a deer caught in headlights. We use this at the very beginning to describe the frozen panic of a meeting. It means to be so frightened, surprised, or confused that you cannot move or think clearly. Example sentence 1, when the director asked him for the sales report, he looked like a deer caught in headlights. Example sentence 2, don't freeze like a deer caught in headlights. Just use a soft cushion phrase. Word number 2 is the noun etiquette. This is the core theme of our title today. Etiquette means the customary code of polite behavior in society or among members of a particular profession or business. Example sentence 1, learning proper email etiquette is essential for international office workers. Example sentence 2, in some cultures, corporate etiquette dictates that you must wait for your turn to speak. Word number 3 is the noun carousel. Anna used this as a visual metaphor for a fast-moving meeting. A carousel is a continuous, fast-spinning merry-go-round amusement ride used metaphorically to describe a fast, non-stop situation. Example sentence 1, the morning market discussion felt like a spinning carousel of numbers. Example sentence 2, trying to enter a fast conversation is like jumping onto a moving carousel. Word number 4 is the noun cushion. We explained that a cushion is a soft pillow, but linguistically it means a polite phrase used to soften the impact of an interruption or a disagreement. Example sentence 1, always use a polite phrase as a verbal cushion before delivering bad news. Example sentence 2, her soft opening acted as a perfect cushion during the intense negotiation.
Word number 5 is the noun to overlap. We mentioned that digital platforms often cause chaotic audio overlap when 2 people speak at the exact same time. To overlap means to extend over, cover a part of something, or occur at the same time as something else. Example sentence 1, our voices started to overlap because of the severe internet connection lag. Example sentence 2, the scheduled times for the 2 project meetings unfortunately overlap this afternoon.
Anna, word number 6 is the noun constraint. Jake used this word when pivoting a conversation to a budget constraint. A constraint is a limitation, restriction, or a strict boundary that prevents you from doing something freely. A constraint is a limitation, restriction, or a strict boundary that prevents you from doing something freely. Example sentence 1, time constraints mean we only have 5 minutes left for this brainstorming session. Example sentence 2, the design team had to work within very tight financial constraints this year. And finally, word number 7 is the noun diplomat. We noted that using the pivot and pass technique makes you look like a corporate diplomat. A diplomat is a person who can handle sensitive, difficult international relations or office politics with incredible tact, skill, and peace. Example sentence 1, she handled the angry client like a true diplomat and saved the business account. Example sentence 2, to survive office politics, you sometimes need to act like a quiet corporate diplomat.
Anna, beautiful words. Now let's step directly into our Say It Better segment. This is where we take flat, dry, blunt textbook sentences that learners often use during intense meetings and upgrade them to premium native style expressions.
I love this part. Let's give our intermediate learners some serious corporate upgrades. I will read the basic textbook version, and Anna will give the smooth native phrase. Sentence number 1, stop talking. I want to say my opinion now.
Oh, wow, that sounds like an absolute command. The native upgrade is, if I could just chip in here for a moment. The phrasal verb chip in is the standard, polite, casual way native speakers say they want to contribute an idea to a moving conversation.
Perfect. Sentence number 2, your information is wrong. Look at this instead.
Upgrade. I haven't looked at it from that specific angle yet, but let's check our data sources. Telling someone they are flat out wrong creates instant office enemies. The native upgrade uses the word angle to respectfully shift the focus from a personal mistake to objective data.
Sentence number 3, I need to say something because you're talking too long.
Upgrade. Sorry to cut in, but before we move off this topic, I'd love to add. This upgrade uses a soft cut-in cushion while framing your interruption as a valuable contribution to the current topic before it slips away.
Sentence number 4,
Hey, listen to me right now. Oh, that sounds like a school teacher shouting at children. The native upgrade is to use the visual runway first. Unmute your line and say, can I just add a quick point to what Mary was saying? This logically adds on to a colleague's point, making it feel cooperative rather than disruptive.
and sentence number 5, I am done speaking. Now you talk.
Upgrade? That's my perspective on this, but I'd love to pass it back to you, John. Referencing your ideas as a perspective shows high intellectual maturity, and explicitly passing it back is the cleanest way to transfer conversational authority.
It flows so beautifully off the tongue. Well, everyone, that brings us to the very end of today's meeting survival guide. The next time you are sitting in a fast-moving boardroom or a frantic Zoom call, don't stay hidden in the shadows. Build your runway, drop your cushion, and let your voice fly. Now, we want to hear directly from our incredible community of leapers here at Learn Us English. What is your absolute favorite phrase for stopping a talkative colleague politely? And have you ever had an embarrassing interruption mistake at work? Share your stories in the comments section below. Anna and I are going to personally read through them, laugh along with your adventures, and reply with some customized professional vocabulary tips. If you found today's long episode valuable and feel a little bit more confident about speaking up in corporate spaces, please smash that like button, subscribe to the Learn Us English channel, and ring that notification bell. And if you want to keep expanding your business conversational skills right now, click right here on our very next video, where we break down the high-level phrases for confidently saying no to extra workloads without disappointing your manager. See you right over there in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Bye. Keep learning, keep leaping.